I came across this video of a young man named John talking about people around the world who call Christianity corny. I understand where he's coming from because our world tries to ignore truth and run away from it. Why does the world reject the truth? Because from birth, our flesh is in rebellion against God. It naturally resists and despises His truth. Check out what he says.
People nowadays call Christianity corny. They think that if you try and pray before dinner, look at this cornball. But the same people will praise you and call you a legend if you can drink 2/5 of vodka in 30 minutes. You see how backwards our world is right now? The thing that's bad for you, drinking that much vodka, is praised. And the thing that's good and brings joy and peace, like praying before a meal, is seen as stupid or corny. What is going on in our world today? What's going on in America? We have flipped everything backwards.
John discusses how society applauds what is actually wrong. This is prophecy. The Bible tells us that good will be called evil and evil will be called good. This is why we see so much bad being celebrated and truth being ignored. Nowadays, society has its own way of praising sin. Let's continue.
When did it become corny to treat others how you want to be treated? When did it become corny to stand up for what you believe in? When did it become corny to do what's right? How is that corny? I don't understand. It's as if America and Americans are afraid of the truth, so they run from it, so they do not have to face it. I went to Africa last year, and trust me, it ain't corny there. No, it's not corny. I dare you to go to Africa where I went and tell these Christians that their religion is corny. I don't even know what would happen to you, but they ain't gonna smile and laugh, I promise you that. But in America, we have entire festivals cooking on Christianity. It's like, why? And why don't we do that for the other religions, right? Why don't you see festivals of people cooking on Islam or Hinduism or Buddhism? Doesn't exist, really. If I went and told a bunch of people, hey, I'm becoming a Buddhist, they're gonna say, congratulations, it's good for you. But the same people, if I tell them I wanna follow Jesus, what in the world is corny cornball talking about?
John says that Christians in Africa take God very seriously. It made me realize how privileged we Americans are to freely practice our faith or even question or disrespect it without fear. He also asked the question of why is Christianity the main religion being made fun of or portrayed as a joke and not other religions?
That should show you something. Why is there such a resistance to Christianity, a resistance to Jesus? The answer is because He's the truth. And our world does not want to accept it, so they run from it. If our world cooks on Jesus and says, He's so corny, all of His followers, cornballs, and they don't even sit there and acknowledge that it's true or consider that it could be true, then they never have to face it. And it's really sad. Here's another thing that's not corny. The 12 apostles who were after Jesus, or who lived with Jesus, were beheaded for their faith, skinned alive for their faith, boiled alive for their faith, beaten to death. The list goes on. Was that corny? Now let's say you don't even believe in Christianity and you think they all believed in a lie. I would still say it's pretty courageous to die for what you believe in, even if it wasn't true. If there was a Muslim who believed that I was wrong and got executed for his faith, I would respect him. Even though I think he's wrong, I would say, wow, that took courage to do. So I don't understand why people who are atheists don't have the same respect for people who've died for Christianity. And it's still happening today. Kids were just kidnapped in the middle of church in Nigeria. Was that corny? They could have said, I'm not a Christian, I'll go with whatever you guys want. But no, they stood up for their faith. Was that corny?
He's right because Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. That's why the world hates Him and His followers. All these martyrs dying for their faith isn't corny, it's boldness. Many people choose the comfort of their flesh because the truth makes them uncomfortable. Let's continue.
Was it corny when Jesus had His skin ripped off of Him, beaten alive to the brink of death, and then nailed to a cross, the most humiliating and painful death you could have gone through? Was that corny? It said that you couldn't even tell if He was male or female. Do you know how bad you have to get destroyed, your body wrecked, to not be able to tell if somebody is male or female? That doesn't sound corny to me. The word I would use is heroic, loving. He did that for you and for me because He loves us. He's God. He could have had 1,000 angels fly down and pick him up. He could have floated away himself if he wanted to and not gone through any of that. But he did for you and me because he loves us. And if there's anything that's more heroic than dying for someone you love, please let me know in the comments. I just can't believe we call this stuff corny nowadays. Millions of men have died for you to be here right now. Christian men. And you're going to call their religion corny? Now, I'm sorry I'm getting worked up, but let's look back. Why? What is going on in America? The answer is we are falling from God. People are turning to sin when they're miserable instead of God. Look back just 100 years in 1925. How much happier were people in America? How much stronger was the community? The reason is because they were all following God, for the most part, or trying to. We were a Christian nation. And sadly today, most people who call themselves Christians don't follow anything. They simply go to church on Sunday and then go and live for the world the rest of their week. Or, even worse, they only go on Christmas and Easter. A true follower of Jesus is somebody who picks up their cross daily and carries it. What does this mean? This means you are actively trying every single day to grow closer to God.
Those who don't believe in Jesus or mock Christianity overlook what true love is. They think it's just a fairy tale, but what's true is that one day you will be face to face with the Lord, and I hope that you are ready to meet him. I hope you're not walking into eternity unprepared. We as a nation have to get back to where we once fell from and follow Jesus. But until then, we will continue to see a great falling away, a society that rejects God and who is constantly praising evil. Comment down below your thoughts. God bless.